always look to the stars, taking a fascination in the hope that can be found in the heavens for humankind.
Path of the moon explosion caused during their engine loss.
Decisive action from scientists and politicians across the globe.
We are always focused on adaptation, progression, and preserving the future of humanity, no matter the challenge that faces us.
Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to IXION, which is our space survival sort of city slash station builder complex game. In the first episode, if you haven't seen it, we kind of launched the main storyline. I'm not going to spoil it just in case you haven't seen it, but I highly recommend you go back and watch it because it does present some rather interesting things that I honestly didn't expect. Now, we are in a stage where we are still exploring our solar system. We are about to react to and find a Dolo station that should have all the answers on how we can kind of fix our engine, because that's kind of the main issue at the moment. We just unlocked sector 2 of, I believe, 6. We're having a little bit of issues figuring out the logistics of it, but that's okay. We'll get it all figured out. We are unlocking people, as weird as that sounds, to our cryonic center, which we can designate to different sectors, but we're not going to do that at the moment. So anyways, guys, I hope you are appreciative and I hope you have some fun with this next episode as we dig into it. Let's get rolling. All right, so as mentioned, we are sending a ship to the Outer Hope. That's what it is called. We have some stations, some areas that we are prioritizing to extract. We have our iron, which is currently being forged into alloys once we get that back up and running. But the problem is right now in this sector anyways, we still need to wait for a few more people to come in so we can alleviate, the working conditions. As you can see here, we are working some extra hours, but this is actual overwork. Overwork causes accidents, it causes bad things to happen. We don't want that to happen at all, so we're not going to let it. The science ship has arrived. A Dolos emergency signal is broadcasting from these coordinates. It originates from the research station Outer Hope. Outer Hope is surrounded by wreckage and debris from a past battle. Broken equipment and frozen bodies float around the station. The emergency signal is transmitted from inside. We're going to search the battlefield first to better understand what happened before we decide to dig in. And then we're also going to launch another probe, the search for all the things out there in the world. Now, I do believe there is some science related stuff. Ooh, that's a big one right there. We're gonna go there, launch the probe and see what happens. But you can see each of these areas, we are starting to kind of yeah, we're gonna work. Yeah, no, that's awesome. We're rocking, we're rolling. We are working on building another set of, oh, we already have. Oh, we need polymer. That's not something we currently have available to us. So let's go with maintenance. I'm going to build that here. That's might as well. We're going to do polymer. And then once we get to the resources, I am of course going to do, for polymer, let's drag it to like 100. We'll keep it to 1 station. And anything beyond that, you're going to dump into here. Which means we should have a lot of people come in and do that. They're still doing that event. Yep, we still got 2.5 cycles there. And what I think I'm actually might have to do is over in sector 1, we're going to drag that to about 50. And then if we have any issues there, then we'll address it. But for the time being, I need a bunch of polymer over there, so that's what we're going to have them go for. And then over here, we finally, extra hours. We still need more people to work this sector. And we have loads and loads of cryotubes that we're able to bring in. And then we need to, of course, work on our population a little bit. Get them rolling. We have our mess hall. 7 food is required to feed all 66 crew members in the sector. A meal is served every 5 cycles, so we're still in a pretty decent spot overall. All right, cool. We're gonna chill here for a second. Completed its scan and has found something interesting. Oh, hey! It's Uranus. We're not gonna do that because we're gonna move there. And yes, I'm not gonna call it Uranus, even though I just said it. But regardless, I think we got some good things going on. This is just a really, really cool system that I really enjoy because it's just such a unique way to go about discovering different parts of your solar system or of these systems that we are in. All right, the end of Outer Hope. The battle seems to have been made up of multiple engagements, with debris from the conflicts mostly consisting of wrecked shuttles. Some of these destroyed ships bear the insignia of the UN. The majority carry Dolos emblems. Oof. Well, the implications of that mean essentially that the UN went to war with Dolos after the events that happened here. Sophisticated weapon systems were also identified among the wreckage, bearing the acronym BMS. In the last episode, we discovered that in the first system that we were, or the first event system that we were engaged in. We don't know what it means. The Archimedes team was able to salvage some resources. Cool. Now we're going to search Outer Hope itself. We got that rolling. Let's go ahead, go back into here. We're getting some carbon, so I'm going to go ahead and have that in as a system that we can utilize. And then we're going to continue on our merry here. We have constructed the minigun, which I think is really cool. Can I not rename them? I feel like I should be able to rename them. But this is where we can start having our crews sort of specialize. It makes sense for the minigun to utilize the iron because we have our iron in this system, or at least in this sector, excuse me. So I'm going to keep him there rocking that stuff. We are going to get another supply ship. We're actually going to get 2 supply ships. And that's going to allow us to prioritize this even further. So it's all just a really interesting system of ins and outs that I think will be a really cool thing once we get things up and running a little bit more. We've got our supply ship. So we're going to remove that. We're actually going to remove that because we have our cryo people and our iron in there. So that way these guys can really focus on the other things of the area. And then over here, we do have some extra hours. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't... Ooh, there's an event. Hold on. There's lots of cryonic pods in storage. Living with the knowledge that loved ones could be alive and in cryonics is not having a positive effect. To ensure humanity's survival, they'll need as many crew members as possible. 24 cycles? No, absolutely. We'll be fine with that. 100%. There are no active health buildings in Sector 2. Okay, well we're not there yet, so that's okay. So we are optimal. There is no health buildings, as you said. A probe is completed. We've discovered Neptune. Very cool. Our communication systems have detected faint signals transmitting from what appears to be an old luxury station on Triton. Transmission analysis pulled a few data fragments encoded within the signals. Mentioned public disorder, food supply problems, and frequently reference the name Ulysses. I'm sure that has... Oh, I'm sure it has some things to do with Greek mythology. I don't know who Ulysses is or what that has relevance to. If you know, before I found out here, let me know in the comments section. But here, I'm actually going to go and we are going to utilize this for ice. And then, what do we got? Oh, we've got another set. Let's go ahead and have them go there and go them there too. But, we're finding out about the Outer Hope.
A new request awaits your attention.
Outer Hope lies in ruins. Many embalmed bodies were found in the remains of the station. Dolos crew protocol do not direct for this type of preservation. The Archimedes team traced the emergency broadcast and after clearing away several tons of debris, uncovered the station's mainframe. They were able to assess and extract Outer Hope's black box. Its data can be analyzed using the Tycoon's tech lab. Perfect! So we can extract 25 people. We have the black box and the legacy of Dolos. We are going to dismantle the Outer Hope. We need it. Like, there's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then once we get done researching what we are researching, we'll be fine and dandy there as well. Now, I'm going to turn this on. We are overworked a little bit, but again, we have so many pods that we're going to be fine. We're going to get into that cycle, and we'll totally have enough time there as well. Oh yeah, we're doing great. Now what can I turn ice into? Once mined, it can be transformed to water by a fusion station. All right, well, we're a great deal away from that. And now that we don't have to worry about iron in this sector, we will bring carbon into it. And now we have this. We've received the data from Outer Hope's black box. Further analysis is required. All right, the Outer Hope has been dismantled. Resources are ready. That wasn't a whole lot. We're collecting the science, and then I will continue to move them on to Uranus, or we could go to Neptune. Our instruments record abnormal thermal activity. At this distance, we're unable to deduce its nature. That looks like a tree. How intriguing. I'm sorry, that was a bad one. All right, so electronics factory has been researched. Outer Hope black box. We have 30 research, so we'll definitely research that right off the bat. Storage is full. No more resources can be produced. Oh, okay, cool. That's actually not that big of a problem at the moment. I do need to build an infirmary. We're gonna find a good place for that. Be right there. So what we can simply do is, well, we actually need quite a few there, so that will actually increase our productivity. But I could start transferring once we get done with the extra working hours, to be able to then go and do all the stuff that it needs to do. Now, one thing I am a little bit concerned about is the capabilities of this station. So when it comes to alloy, you're gonna have 100. Let's do, well, no, I don't think we're doing the maintenance system there. But I think the point is going to be that we will have the capabilities of refilling this more. This will be our production center for alloy, and soon, eventually, we will have to export it over to here. Yeah, we just gotta get all the people here, get them to stop working those extra hours because we're getting all that done. Black box has been unlocked. So I guess the question is, read the reports from the black box, but how to, oh, the events over here. The black box's data has provided some information on the events that took place following the Tycoon's failed vol jump. Records tell of how the Earth was ravaged by the Lunaclism. In the ensuing chaos, states radicalized, and the UN declared Dolos an enemy of humanity. The black box's data also describes a Dolos facility hidden in the atmosphere of Jupiter, officially designated Hephaestus. The site was used to develop a new type of vol engine. It also accommodated the construction of a Taurus-class superstructure known to Dolos as Protagoras. This iteration of the Tycoon was sent on a mission to seek out habitable exoplanet Remus, where the last survivors of Earth could establish a new home. Despite the damage done to Outer Hope, the station was still able to later receive a distress signal from the Protagoras with the vol jump coordinates encoded, indicating the ship's last presumed location. Very interesting. So that means that we need to find it, correct? Why don't you come back to Tycoon? just briefly. And we need to send an expedition to Jupiter, but we have to find it. So let's get a probe. Now, if that's Uranus and that's Neptune, that means Jupiter is just beyond the asteroid belt. Am I correct? Does it go Jupiter then Saturn or Saturn then Jupiter? I honestly could not tell you. We are running a little bit low on polymers though, at least in this sector. So what we need to do again, we need to work on developing systems here. We're still working extra hours too. We just need to get a lot of people undone from here, basically. Undone sounds terrible, but that's the situation that we're kind of in right now. Okay, so this is the point where I need to figure out the logistics. So, Sector 2... So we can totally export back over to there. But what should happen then, in my opinion, is that we should be able to continually export over there until it moves along. Okay, we'll get it figured. Just feed the cycle, baby. Feed the cycle. There we go. I'm going to wait until we complete in limbo as well, because it will allow us to see what happens when we get all those pods done. We're optimal there. We're going to get ourselves a little more than optimal for a while. Sweet. Cryopods have been done. We have max trust right now, which is just peachy. I really like that. There is Jupiter. So we are going to send them over to Jupiter there. Are we collecting all of these things? I think we're getting there. We're not quite there yet. So that means that Saturn still has to be discovered. And it's right there. Alright, our science ship has arrived at Jupiter. Coordinates recovered from the black box allow us to successfully locate the Hephaestus construction facility. Using encrypted channels and Dolos communication protocols found on Outer Hope to access the Hephaestus site seems to have woken the resident Diagnostics reveal that prior to the failure of the site's data archiving systems, the facility had been inactive for several decades. Strangely, the industrial zone is currently powered and operational. Interesting. We've reached the automated construction site, which, despite its age, is still in good working condition. Although the Dolos technology here is recognizable, it's much more advanced than what we have on board the Tycoon. In the control room for the site, we came across a mausoleum dedicated to Lyra Fraus. The resident PA identified us as Dolos personnel and granted access to data records. These confirm that the Hephaestus site was used to construct and house an advanced prototype of the Volt engine, code-named IXION. Oh, there we go. An engine of this type is currently moored to an EKP structure with a harness link. Our engineers say one of our mining ships could tow this. Attaching the IXION engine to the Tycoon will restore our vol jump capabilities. Extract IXION from the atmosphere of Jupiter. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and use Turtle. And there we go. Pretty darn cool. Now we know where the name of this place comes from. The name of the game. It is from a more advanced engine. We could continue to launch probes around all sorts of sites. Something... Let's see, so we've discovered... We haven't discovered... We have not discovered Mars or Mercury, for that matter. There's Mercury. It'd just be interesting to discover our own solar system and find out everything that happened before we go and leave it. And speaking of that sort of thing, what does it take? Man, it takes a lot to get those things up and running. 45, we don't quite have the resources for that just yet. However, we could totally... Let's see, carbon's already in there. So what if we built a polymer factory? We could build it right there. That's not the absolute most optimal space, but I think... Is there a road? There we go. No, it's not. There we go. That'll get us up and running there. We can't bring in any more ice, which is fine. But we still have so many sectors. You know what? We could honestly... we could honestly... build a cryogenic center here. And bring in some people here for our own... not nefarious. That sounds terrible. But for our own purposes of trying to bring in the population a little bit. Oh, that sounded awful. We're not being nefarious in this sector. I promise you. But we do need much larger facilities for these people. I'm not a fan of how small they really are. And now we have a population, not a crisis, that's not the right word for it, but we do have population issues here. Let's go ahead and dismantle that. And then we can build... Oh, I can only... No, we gotta build optimally. There we go. We can fit 3 right here. Oh, brilliant. That will help and prevent them from working extra hours. All right, we discovered Venus. Let's go ahead and send it out. We need to discover Mercury. Are we going to be able... Mercury's got to be just like right here. Oh, there we are, right there. And what are we doing here? We got 0.4 cycles left. There we go. The extraction procedure was a success. Hephaestus's PA helped us a lot during the operation. She may try to contact the Tycoon directly. We may follow the self-similar pattern. All right, prepare the IXION for Tycoon connection. Yeah, we can do that. We can move the Tycoon to Jupiter. 2.3 cycles, that's fine. Man, what a wrecked moon. Goodness gracious. We're just gonna...
Trust in your leadership is falling.
Ruh-roh. Why are we falling? Why is everyone upset? Maybe because we're moving to battery cycles? Look at that, though. Isn't that just cool? If we did this, we would move even faster. There she is. Look at that. What a gorgeous planet. I do find it interesting. Oh. Do they have the Great Storm? That big red eye? Is it? I wonder what happened. Alright, so if we go back here, we are into that. We are going to prepare. Once the Tycoon has reached Jupiter's orbit, the team will work with Tycoon engineers. The older faulty engine will be removed. 3 cycles until that has been completed. We are losing trust And I'm wondering why. We need food. I wonder if that's just because we were moving. Surely it's just got to be because we were moving, right? Like... And like that didn't... I don't understand. Stability is very low. I understand. Sector working conditions from the death of the Earth, from having more than 5% of the sector's population starving. But you're not. Okay, I guess we gotta wait until we get to a food cycle. Meal cycle. Okay, this should disappear now. No one should be starving in our homes anymore. Awesome. They've completed the jump cycle. I just want to make sure my people aren't going to actually starve. Okay, we got it. All right, that's what it was then. Woo! Population. We need more areas for our crew to inhabit. Man, so many of these are just like a half step away from being super optimal. And it's throwing off my groove, man. We may have to start moving things around. For instance, like I might have to allow that to be there. So that way I can bring in... Oh my word, so much of it is so unoptimized. Oh no. Hopefully we can fill in this area with something in the future. Okay, we have 14 people here. These places are not fantastic either. You see what I mean? It's just like a half step off everywhere. I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of these little half steps. Oh, it kills me. Let's do this. Let's go with maintenance. We're going to build this right here. We're going to put that there. I want to dismantle this to open up that space, which I know can't happen. Let's go ahead and high priority this so we can have that transfer. And that'll be pretty hunky-dory there. Neutral, the death of Earth, sector conditions at overwork. Yeah, we've got a lot of overwork happening there, don't we? All right, so while those guys are working together, the crews of the Tycoon and the team have prepared IXION for connection. Final attachment can be initiated via the EVA airlock. We're going to dismantle the surplus there. We have an incoming transmission.
We have received a transmission from the Hephaestus PA, Olympia.
Continue.
Tycoon, IXION is now in orbit and ready for installation.
Thank you, Olympia.
You are not designed to calculate your own Vol coordinates. IXION will only permit you to use previously generated coordinates or to follow the Vol signatures of others that have crossed self-similar space. To make your existence worthwhile, you will need to find the coordinates of the exoplanet that Protagoras is looking for, Remus. Vanya was right about the echoes of the future. I bestow upon you this miracle, and with it, release myself so that I may embrace the sleep that was stolen from me.
That's intense. All right. Well, I appreciate it. We're about to dismantle, and like I said, we're not leaving any of this space pretty much until I can guarantee that we have everything extracted.
The science ship team has completed a task.
Awesome. We got a whole range of stuff there, so Jupiter's been extracted. Let's send our... No, well, yeah, we still need Mars. Let's see, that's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Oh, Marsy Mars. Right there. Cool. And then we need to send our fleet. Do I just not have it prioritized? Let me send resources to mine. Okay, there we go. Why don't you want to go mine that? Oh, I told him to avoid it. Oh, that's a goofy of me. We're not going to avoid that. We need to... What is this? Jupiter's gravitational influence increases Mercury's orbit eccentricity over time. Mercury's path could eventually cross that of Venus or even Earth. We need not worry about any proposed nightmare collision scenarios. Such an event could occur millions of years from now. Okay, so do I just get that? Do I need to send my... I think I do. I need to send my ship over there. Alright, well that's all of the planets. I'm trying to think of what else we have. We have a decent source of iron, although we could definitely utilize... There's another big push of iron there. And our hull integrity... Okay, yeah, we really gotta work on our... We gotta work on the overworked conditions here. Are we still sending everyone to Sector 1? We are sending everyone to Sector 1. And there's Mars. An old disused complex named Richter's facility has been located on the surface. Science ship arrived at Mars. The derelict UN-owned facility is covered almost entirely by Martian sand. Existing Dolos clearance codes can be used to interact with the complex's system. Yeah, let's go ahead and access it.
A science ship team has completed a task.
The codes briefly reactivated the defensive systems. Due to the facility's state, they fortunately overloaded and are now offline. They did not suffer any losses. Let's go... Yeah, we're just going to perform a full sweep. Like, that's what we need to do. I don't feel like we're in any hurry. Or at least I hope not. And I hope it's still entertaining enough for you guys to hear and see all these interactions. Because they do... I feel like they do really matter overall.
A science ship team has completed.
The operation was a success. The team of the Archimedes crew was able to recover a large amount of resources. Regretfully, a few crew members were lost. Now, deviating from standard resource extraction protocol, their unauthorized actions caused the collapse of a retaining wall. Sand flooded the facility, caused their subject asphyxiation. Oof. Well, Esmeralda Pastor and Joel Hanonen, why didn't you listen? Frustrating. Okay, well, they can't do anything. We're going to move on to Venus. We're going to circle all of our guys, see what happens to all the planets in our solar system before we get out of here. All right, we're finally exploring Venus. Probe data has revealed mining and industrial infrastructure below the surface. According to reports from the exploration team, the subterranean site consists of mining infrastructure and a large assembly line. Many embalmed bodies were found in the area. The line seems to have been originally used to fabricate solar sails. Tycoon engineers suggest that with minor repairs, they could be restarted. Bring it on. Yep, absolutely will. Alright, so I've researched the memorials, which is a really cool thing. It provides some decent stability. Now, we don't have a ton of electronics, and to be honest, they are quite happy right now, which is increasing our trust. However, it'd be really cool to kind of work on these. These are massive, though, and I mean truly massive memorials, but I do think that they would be pretty darn important for the stability of the entire region. So we'll get into those eventually. We won't get into them now, but it's simply something I wanted to mention as we were waiting for things to get deployed to Venus and for that cycle to run through. I think we could probably end up launching another probe, finding some more areas that might be beneficial, like this place right before our very eyes. We detected a signal broadcast on the Dolos frequency. Comes from a mineral extraction named the Stanford facility. How interesting. We'll go into there after we get into Venus, and then again, we're gonna get our whole people in this, our solar system in at once by the end of this episode. All right, the science team. The assembly line's been repaired. Machines belong to the UN, clearly more advanced than our systems. Fully automated, teams have been able to use them to prepare a number of resources. During the repair process, an engineer discovered a number of inscriptions written by Ulysses. He speaks of his time as administrator of Neptune's Hyperlux station, Tai Kai, and expressed regret over the fate of the station's residents. He used the line to repair elements of his ship so that he could reach the headquarters of the Black Market Society. All right, we're at our asteroid belt. Detecting a signal. Again, we theorize that the Stand facility will contain many materials useful to the Tycoon and its crew. In order to recover them, we need to dismantle elements of the structure to gain entrance. Control center's been identified, but it's sealed off by a shutter with a UN emblem stenciled over it. A message has been written beneath the emblem in an unknown language. Okay, we have no idea what it says, but it's accompanied by a helical-shaped symbol. All right, let's dismantle a part of the facility and see what happens. I don't want to use explosives just yet. We'll see what we can't do before we do use those extreme measures. Matching the character of the Marduk Council member Philip Stanford, meticulously organized resources were found in the facility storage area. They've been prepared for extraction, and they call it a mine. So it appears we should have probably done the other thing. That's okay. Let's move on to Uranus, because I'm not going to say it the way everyone wants me to say it. Yes, the crew's trust is falling because we are starving and we have more people than we can handle. But I am working on it. Our current cycles will continue to be prosperous. I do wish I could find a way to utilize this a little bit better, but that's okay. And we do have more people in here than we need, which is fine. The people are happy over here, so that's important. That's okay with us. We just got to get everyone else back up to par. Let's go ahead. Just wondering what we might need facilities wise that might be a little more optimal setup. Now we could, as we mentioned, we could do this. We actually do have enough. Let's go ahead and do it. We're going to temporarily disable our hulls, but we're on our way to Uranus. Let's see what it entails. Awesome, we're there. Control, are you receiving this? We found a tree. Seems impossible in such an environment. I've never seen anything like it. It's breathtaking. The tree sheds its leaves quite rapidly, but they reform almost instantly, crystallizing from the branches. The root structure appears to sink deep into the planet. Hope you're receiving our images, as this feels like a fever dream. Naomi Protocol cut down the tree? No. No, we'll carry out ecological analysis and see what happens from it. After analysis of various samples, the tree appears to be almost entirely edible. Its roots, leaves, and fruit can all be eaten. RNA sampling suggests the tree is the result of extensive bioengineering experimentation. It's unknown how it was germinated here or who is responsible for this feat. We're going to harvest the edible instances. I don't want to cut this tree down. Maybe the only really living thing in our solar system. I just can't pull myself to do it. The Archimedes team has prepared resources for its distraction. No, we're actually going to leave it. I'm not going to cut down the tree. We're going to leave Uranus. All right, we're going to bring ourselves to Neptune and see what lies there. Let's take a look at Neptune. Tai Kai Station has been almost entirely dismantled. Few areas left suggest those who lived here were swimming in opulence. We found a sealed room protected by heavily armored blast doors. Dents in the door's metal suggest that others have unsuccessfully tried to gain entry. Quentin Moreau recommends the use of explosives. Given the state of the situation or the station, I think it may be a bad idea. The Archimedes team will provoke a structural collapse and salvage materials. No, We're going to take a risk. We're going to use explosives. This could end disastrously. I don't have much hope. Detonation caused one of the station's core supports to buckle. Structure's even more fragile than we thought. Collect what's usable. Yep, that's what we'll do. The explosion weakened the structural integrity. It collapsed while the team was collecting resources. Well, dadgummit. They were able to achieve partial extraction. What remains of the Taikai station is now buried under tons of corroded alloy. Well, we gotta go home. Return back to Tycoon. We'll go explore Saturn, and then I think we probably about all that we need left to, well, we could probe once more. Maybe get some more good... Ooh, there's some carbon. We may do this a couple of times. After receiving no response, the team landed and advanced towards the complex security protocols in place. The defenses activated briefly and fired on the team. Fortunately, seems to have been little remaining power. They quickly shut down. Entering the complex, they were attacked by strange animals. Recorded footage from the mission shows an emaciated simian amalgam. The team repelled the attack with improvised weapons and the creatures retreated. Unfortunately, no samples could be recovered. Venturing further, unsettling works of art and esoteric writings were discovered. Although the station is still pressurized, progress was made difficult due to the lack of any artificial gravity. In addition, a giant fungus has spread throughout the complex, releasing huge volumes of spores into the atmosphere. Within what appears to be the main entrance hall, a bronze statue of Marduk Council member Giovanni Battista has been erected. Inconsistencies in the reports from different members of the exploration team suggest recorded information may not be entirely accurate. Send the team deeper into the station. We're going to stay here for just a little while longer. I'm risking a lot here. Venturing deeper within, the team of the Archimedes reached a construction site, deserted and almost entirely frozen. Several possible storage areas have been identified but are blocked by ice. Team could try to break through the ice or restart the heating systems. In one of the storage areas, though the transparency of ice, a preserved corpse can be seen. Let's restart the engine's heating systems. We are increasingly risking issues here, so I certainly hope it pays off. This is Hui Wu. We are evacuating immediately. The melting ice has shorted the main circuit breaker. We've heard several explosions. Fires have started throughout the station. We've had to abandon everything. Oof. Well, that ends that. Should have thought about that. That's okay. Well, we'll never find out exactly what went down. That's a bit of a shame, but that's all right. We've unlocked the battery technology, and we're trying to harvest as much out of this space as possible. But I think we're going to have to move along as soon as I get the last of this research tech. We're going to abandon this, and I think we're going to have to avoid that as well. Go back to the Tycoon. We've explored all we can in our own solar system, but now we have to get out and risk, or else risk, the mental health of all the people within our station. It's not something that I can easily swallow consciously, so we're going to get everyone here. We're avoiding, nope. We're avoiding everything. Everyone get back so we can make our jump. Once we're all back, I'll be able to hit that button. I'm sure I can hit the button now, but a little bit of a roleplay perspective. I want to make sure everyone gets on board as quickly as they can. We're ready for activation just as soon as we get everyone inside. Everyone's safely in. Let's charge it up.
All ships must return to the Tycoon before Volt Jump initiation.
We're already there. Commence jump. Goodbye, Sol, our own solar system. We'll probably never come back. There's no reason to. There's no one here. But maybe we'll find people in the future. We're folding time yet again. Who knows how far into the future we will propel ourselves? What might happen? We've already destroyed our own solar system. We have the chance of doing it again. kind of technology, what kind of people will we meet on the other side of this wormhole jump?
Amongst the stars.